if I find my opposite, I think it would be like completing a key of great potential, enabling us to discover the hidden wonders that life holds. The difficult task I have is to find her. Who knows who she is, or even if she exists, or even if I will find her, or if, while I'm resting, she may find me. And if that happens, and she realizes it, I hope she would go ahead and get my attention in a very direct way, like what is necessary for gaining an Aspie's attention. I kind of think of it like rescuing a princess from a tower. I can hack away at those vines and not know what direction I need to go in exactly. It is like Aspie men need the princess to yell louder or put off more smoke signals, so to speak, in order for us to know where the princess is, or to know she is trying to get the Aspie's attention. Because if she is not overt, her body language and flirting are obscured by the ignorance of social blindness that the Aspie has. Aspies are intelligent. We have needs and desires like everyone else. It is ignorant to think that we desire relationships less than anyone else. Unless the Aspie is an asexual who isn't attracted to anyone, we do desire relationships and most of the things ordinary people want. Think of it like you're a normal person and neurotypical, and you are talking to people you can't see, and they are speaking broken English and can barely understand you, and the communication is very difficult. Well, this is what it is like for some Aspies. Just because we find it hard to speak the social or flirting language, it doesn't mean we don't desire relationships any less than anyone else, or we are somehow idiots. I think that the fact we can keep foot slogging really says a lot about our inner strength when we keep going with torn apart feet when most people would have given up long ago. And when I say they would give up, there are many ways to give up. Like, a lot of people would have went to prostitutes by now, or forcing people with rape, or harming themselves. They would have shot themselves in the head, or they would have harmed other people by now. And I have done none of these. None of them at all. I believe that most neurotypical people wouldn't have been able to say the same. And I'm 31 at the moment. So there was a story not long ago, someone far less, not as old as me, he made the wrong decision in my opinion. And yeah, anyway, the only way to succeed is to keep walking and not weaken, because if you weaken, you fail. So keep going, and that is the best chance to succeed. And if you fail, at least you did not weaken. Some weak people suggest prostitutes, but that is because they could not make it as far as many of us Aspergers people. It seems to me that many of us Aspies want real love, not just some shallow, meaningless act. The fact that we want a real monogamous relationship tells me, and should tell other people, we do have very deep feelings, and we do care, and when we say what we say, we mean it, as if the actions we do don't speak loudly enough. I don't like it when people think of us as desperate. I'm not desperate. I don't look up to women. I actually like eccentric or quirky women, and truthfully so, I am more attracted to them. Being themselves with all their weaknesses and strengths is exactly what should be. There is nothing to live up to for the woman. The woman doesn't have to live up to anything, just to do the most simple thing there is to do. Be yourself. When you be yourself, there is no looking up or down. There just is. So something else that proves I'm right which is the fact that we don't go to prostitutes proves we aren't desperate. We want real love. It is the weak, desperate people that would go to a prostitute or have a one-night stand with some girl that they just met at the club. If you think about it, you will realize that I am right, and it is quite disappointing that most people don't realize this. I think of Aspies, or at least myself, when it comes to relationships as being the same as how I swim. I don't know how to enter the water. I don't know how to dive. I enter real slow and awkwardly, but once I am in, I can swim great. I think it is like that with most things with me. The things that I can start with no problem, I can usually do fine, and the things that I find real hard to start, I can usually do them good. Also, the problem is, I don't know how to start relationships if I find myself in it already. That is sometimes much easier and sometimes much harder, depending on what it is, if it's work or whatever. I think we can do things well. Like when I am around people I know well, my social abilities are much better than if I am around strangers. I think, my social skills are a lot better around people that I know than around strangers, and I think that this supports my idea with some, but not all of the things that I've been talking about.